So we're microbiology, and what I often, a lot of what we buy actually for our labs, we buy old culinary equipment. We buy old bench tops and worktops, stainless steel worktops, food grade, everything. And I often joke that, you know, working in the kitchen is just macrobiology as opposed to microbiology, right? And that's kind of what you're talking about, the meeting of these two worlds, you know?
Yeah, it is. In fact, you know, we got involved with the GCSE for food and nutrition. And then I realised it's the only subject that all other main subjects can come under. Chemistry, physics, biology, history, geography, language, communication, etc., etc., etc. All comes under this. And in addition to that, it gets people working together as a team.
So, Heston, you're talking a bit about love and about emotion. So do you love, just bringing it back to what we're going to do here today, right? If you were a cheese, if your microbiome was to give us a cheese, the Heston starter culture, like.
Well, it depends. If I'm looking at, it depends on what my, which angle I'd be coming at it from, because there's obviously blue cheeses, thinking about, you know, bits of mold in them, whether they be created from bits of mouldy bread. I also love the aged cheeses where the milk gets a bit more cooked, and then they develop these little, they're like little grains of MSG, of umami, crystals. Yeah, I think they're some of the proteins from the milk.
Really nice.
Like you get that little crunch. I love that as well. So if I was, so I'm going to think about. Could you give me if I was going to be a cheese, no one's ever asked me, if I was going to be a cheese, what cheese would I be? And England, I think, we are very close, like so close, to being the biggest, for producing the most amount of cheese varieties in the world now, with France. So the choice is massive, and it depends, is the great thing about foods. You know, sometimes you want roast chicken and sometimes you want a bowl of cereal. So I'll have to think. I'm now going to sit right here, right now, at this moment in time. If I could call on any cheese without bread, because it just adds another distraction, what would it be? It would be...
Back in the chef's jacket.
I think if we get to 29.8, turn the heat off, it'll probably come up. Yeah, it'll probably come up to 30. So we'll add the rennet at 10:20.
There's going to be a lot of waiting.
There's going to be a lot of waiting. Washing and waiting.
So we'll have one that's here. Yeah. We'll have one that's there. Yeah. We'll have one that's there. Yeah. And we'll have one big one.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the forms of them. The introduction of the bacteria.
What do we do? We get some salt water.
Yeah.
I have like the small test tubes as well. Yeah. But then actually do the like sterile swipe. I dissolve the bacteria in the salt water and then we wash that on the ring. Okay, that works perfectly.
Yeah. You haven't had it done before, so you're going to do the swabbing and we're going to.
This is a first for me as well.
Okay, sweet.
Could you make cheese using microbes from 4 celebrities?
I guess I can culture enough bacteria from the human skin to be able to make cheese.
Yeah, I can make cheese. I can definitely make cheese. We do one that we inject in a week's time and the other one that we don't. Then we've got a Cheshire or a Lancashire and we've got a hard blue cheese.
And then the curd mat is one thing that sticks together. So it's one big solid mass. You cut it into blocks and then you stack those blocks at the side of the van.
One of the things that this is trying to demonstrate is how much effort goes into cheese. And I think that people don't really understand what goes into it. You were saying that cheesemakers tend to make one cheese. or maybe 1 or 2. And what that means is that their whole environment is set up just to make Comté. That's it. And they've got the right temperature for the right time, the right way it's cut. Like, believe me, the way it's cut makes all this difference. And so the audacity to bring it to my studio and just have a go at it is ridiculous. And there's been lots of eye rolling from Dom, like, you know, what are you doing? But so I think that's what we're trying to do, is try to get that over, basically.
I went to this restaurant at dessert. The cheese trolley came, and this guy recommended, if there's one cheese you should have, it's this one. Okay, fine. So, plate, nice creamy cheese with a sort of orangey, slightly furry rind. As I cut into it, I see this little head looking at me, moving. Then I looked a bit closer, full of maggots. And I'd never heard of this before. So I called the waiter over and I said, my cheeses have got maggots. I said, there's maggots in it. And he just looked at me and he went, c'est fromage. What do you expect? It's cheese. Well, okay. Getting over the fact that that I'm eating a cheese with live maggots in it was a hurdle for me. I think it would be much easier to do now. But I think it tasted quite good. I'm hedging my bets, but it tasted quite good.
Cool. Yeah.